This is Kanagaraj Arunthadhy. Today I am here with the 18th set of questions. Here it is. The first sub-question is, enter the data in the table below to the class table. So this is the ER model which we have created in the previous videos. Let's forward this. Forward engineer finished successfully. I'm closing this. I'm going to use head SQL tool to insert data to the database. You can see the database has been created and the tables are here. The first table is class. So let's start entering data to the class table. So we need to write an insert query. Insert into exam marks db dot class table. The column is, we need to enter data for class table only because class ID will auto increase its value. So the column is class name, and the values are the first value is 11A and the second one is 11B. So I'm going to add 11A first. I'm executing this query. After refreshing, you can see the first row has been added to the table. Without changing anything, I'm going to change the value only. So now see, insert into exam marks db dot class table. The column name is class name. Value should be 11B. I'm executing this. After refreshing, the second row has been added to the table. Let's move to the next question. The next one is, enter the data in the table below to the students table. So now we need to enter data for student table. So first we'll open the table. This is the structure. Index number is primary key of this table and class ID is foreign key. So now we need to write the query. Here also we are going to use insert into query. The table is student. Columns are index number. They have given a different index number, so we need to enter it into the table. So the first column is index number. The second one is first name. The third column is last name. And the fourth column is gender. Fifth one is contact number. And the last column is class ID. So we need to mention it also. The column name is class ID. I take this to the next line. Now we should mention the values inside the bracket. The first index number is this. The first name, last name, gender, contact number, then we need to mention the class. Class here 11A. 11A means ID 1. So we need to mention the ID only. So ID is 1. We have mentioned it. I'm going to execute this query. Refreshing. You can see the first row has been added to the table. Here is the final graphical view of the table. So now we can move to the next question. Next one is enter the data in the table below to the subject table. So now we need to enter data to subject table. Let's start entering. Subject table. Insert into exam marks record, marks db dot subject the column name is subject name because subject ID will automatically increase. So the column is subject name, values are the first value is mathematics, we'll execute this query. So the first row has been added to the table. So here is the final view of subject table. We'll move to the next. The next question is enter the data in the table below in the exam term table. Next, we need to enter the data for exam term table. Here is the table. Here exam ID is primary key and it will auto increase its value. So we not need to enter data for that column. We need to enter data for term ID and exam date. So we'll enter data, insert into exam marks db dot exam term. Columns are, the first column is term name and the second one is exam date. I take the values to the next line. Values are the first value is first term, and the date is 2020 3rd 15th. 2020 3rd 15th. So we'll execute this. I refresh. You can see the first term has been added to the table. Let's enter the second term too. I'm changing the values only. The date is 2020 7th 10. I'm executing this query. You can see the second term also been added to the table. We'll move to the next question. The next is enter the data in the table below into the table named student exam mark record. So next we need to enter data for student exam mark record table. This is the structure of the table. Here student index number and subject's ID are composite keys, and exam term ID is being foreign to the table. So here for a student there are three subjects: mathematics, science, Sinhala language and literature, and each subject have two terms, first and second term. So one student, we have 6 rows to enter. I show the way of entering data for the first student. We start entering the data. So this is the query to enter the first data. Here first name and last name are given, but in the table we don't need to enter the first name and the last name because the student's ID is there. So we need to enter the student ID, the subject ID, the first subject is mathematics, so the subject ID will be 1. The exam term ID, which term? Here the first record is for first term, so the exam term ID will be 1, and the marks for the first student is 50, so the marks will be 50. Here it is, insert into exam marks db dot student exam mark record table. The columns are student index number, subject ID, exam term ID and marks. Values are the first student ID, subject is mathematics, that means its ID is 1, term first term, its ID is also 1, marks 50. So let's execute this. I'm refreshing this. You can see the first row has been added to the table. So like this, we need to add 6 rows for the first student because there are 6 datas. The first mathematics, first term and second term, science, first term and second term, Sinhala language, first term and second term. So there should be 6 rows for first student. So here is the first student, 3 subjects marks. First mathematics first term and second term, then science first term and second term, then Sinhala language and literature first term and second term. Likewise, we need to add the data of the whole students. Here is the final view of exam mark record table. We have entered all the data to the table. Student 1's records are 6. Likewise, student 2 also have 6 records. Student 3 and student 4, student 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have completed all their requirements. That's it for the day. I'll meet you in my next video. Thanks for watching.